Tip number 10 from the book 501 Contractor Tips. Find 3 material suppliers. I recommend at least 2 minimum. You've got to have more than 1 material supplier, and I don't know how many contractors get stuck in this trap. I got stuck in it. I hate to say it. I got stuck in it because it was easy, it was convenient. 1 phone call did it all, except some of the prices got a little out of hand every once in a while, and it was almost when I really needed it, and they knew it. So if I would have had a couple different material suppliers, I could have made or faxed 3 different estimates to 3 different people, or made 3 different phone calls, whatever it would have took. But I wouldn't have got into this trap and gotten taken advantage of. And the same thing kind of applies to your customers getting 3 estimates. If they get 3 estimates, they got a pretty good idea what the prices are going to be, and they're not going to, man, I just got taken advantage of. They're not going to feel like that. It's the same thing with the material suppliers. Tip number 10, find 3 material suppliers. If you're dealing with lumber, make sure that you have 3 lumber yards to get material prices from. If possible, you might live in an area where there's only 1 lumber yard, and that's just the way it is. To make sure that you're getting the best deal, compare prices and negotiate with your material suppliers for the best deals possible. Now, this is sound advice. Like I said, if you have convenient access, and that's the key to it, convenient access to more than 1 material supply outfit. If you're going to be doing business like I did, remodeling, framing, I did a lot of framing, needed a lot of lumber, then realistically you could have lumber delivered from 40, 50 miles away. There could be 10 lumber yards in your area. You know, you might not even know about. You might not even know about a few of them. You might, hey, here's one here, this is one, I'm just going to go do this. No, you could call these people and you'd be surprised. I was doing bigger jobs, and I was starting to get lumber yards calling me. They were finding out that I was doing these bigger jobs, and they were calling me, begging me for my business. And I made the mistake of not at least letting them bid the job, because I had kind of got sucked into working with this one lumber yard, and they weren't the cheapest lumber, and they did not have the best quality lumber all the time. One time they sent me out a crap load of these crappy 2x4s, and the guy goes, "Oh, I'm sorry." And I said, "Well, come and pick them up. I don't want them. I need the other 2." He goes, "Oh, well, we can't." I went through this big old story, and the end of it was, instead of me buying them for $2, he sold them to me for $1. Well, they were crap. I really shouldn't even have used them. I ended up cutting big knots out of them, out of the studs, and using small scraps. Well, I could use the small pieces. I made it work, but I shouldn't have had to. Especially for the price I was paying and the money they made off of me at that particular lumber yard. And don't get caught up. I see this a lot too. I worked for a guy who loved free stuff. Free jackets, free hats, pencils, you name it. This guy, I mean, he was the king of this stuff. And he didn't even want half of it. He ended up giving most of the stuff away. Anyway, it was just this thrill, whatever he did. I think what it was that these lumber yards made him feel special. They knew how to make him feel special. And he kept doing business with them. He never shopped anywhere else. He did business with them because they gave him all this free stuff. So they might be charging him 25 times what they're paying for this free stuff. And he didn't even care. He could have made more money and forget about it. Just went out and bought his own stuff. So again, we can't let our minds blow things out of proportion, or think we're getting a bargain or something for free when we actually aren't. And the only way you're going to know this is if you have other options. You have other material supply warehouses that you can actually compare your prices to.